Great. So we're starting off now. So my agenda today is that in the small amount of time that we're going to be spending together, I'm going to give you little effort strategies regarding relocating successfully to Canada in the very near future. My aim is actually to create confidence where there was once uncertainty. I want to shatter confusion and replace it with clarity, which means that I want to share and show exactly what you should do, when you should do it, and how you should do it. My goal is to unlock the true potential that is within you, that I know you have within you in order for you to be able to relocate to Canada in the near future. But even if I do nothing else, I want to do just one thing. I want to ensure that you know the next steps that you need to take immediately. However, this is a two-way street, okay? It's a two-way street. I'm going to give you my A-level best for this brief time that we're going to share together because I have faith and you will actually use what I share with you today. Because nothing pains me more, nothing hurts me deeper than someone encountering a life-changing opportunity and letting it go to waste. So I'm going to give you my best, but in return, I ask you for your best. So I ask you right now, as I go through this presentation, to see yourself doing what I'm going to share with you. Make it yours. See your future show up right in front of you. Because one of my greatest mentors, Bob Proctor, once said, that thoughts become things. So if you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand. So I want you to think about what I show you today. And if you do that, you will actually hold it in your hand. So is it okay if we move forward with this agreement in place? So what I'm asking is, do we have a deal? Do we have a deal that you are actually going to implement what you're going to learn today? So don't just nod your head or say to yourself, this is serious stuff. So prove it to me with the simplest yet the most powerful of gestures. Just put a yes in the chat box right now. Put a yes so that I would know that you and I have a deal. I'm going to give you my best and you in turn will also give me your best. Do we have a deal? Yes. So I see so many yeses. So I believe that we have a deal. Great. So that gives me confidence to actually go on. So today I'm going to show you how to become a Canada permanent resident in 2023 using the study route. But I need to make a disclaimer that this information is of a general nature and it is for education and information purposes. So this does not replace information that is on the Canada website, the Canada government website. So, and if you need immigration advice, please don't forget to contact an immigration lawyer, okay? This is for information and education purposes. So how did this come to be and how did I come to be giving such a webinar telling people about relocating to Canada? I'm going to tell you how I came to be giving this webinar today. So my name is Seyi Obasi. I live in Ontario, Canada, and those are three different beautiful faces of Seyi Obasi. But I am a Nigerian, and I used to live in Nigeria, and I love Nigeria, just like a lot of us here who are Nigerians. I wanted to live in Nigeria all my life, but there was a problem. Our economy was in danger. We had a failing economic system. Our education systems were failing. School systems were failing. Then to make it worse, there was insecurity in the country. It was becoming unsafe to stay in Nigeria. So there were a lot of people who started looking to Japan, including me and my family. People were looking for ways to actually leave the country and go to places where they could have a better life for themselves and their family. So I too started searching, just like everybody was searching. And I'm going to tell you my Japan story in a bit, like what I went through before I actually came to Canada. So this is my Japa story. So at the time that I wanted to relocate to Canada, it was around 2015 or so, and that was when Canada started the express entry. Um, so I created an express entry profile, but I wasn't getting invited. So I decided to try to get a job. Yeah. And I met someone online who promised me a job and asked me to send some money, which I did. But after making two payments, I realized that it was a scam. So I had been scammed. So I was scammed. And when I became scammed and then extra entry, nothing was happening, I decided to move to Australia because my sister had recently gotten the Australia permanent residence. And we felt that, oh, you know what, if she could do it, that means we can do it too. So we started the Australia permanent residence process. Australia has their own process. They have this PT exam, their English exams, and then they have all these employment reference documents that you need to get. So I started studying for these PT exams. It was very expensive. And I started from place to place, company to company, trying to get reference letters from my previous employers. It wasn't a pleasant experience. After gathering all the documents, paying all the money for myself and my family, we applied. And guess what? 2 months later, we were refused. Wow. It was very, very devastating. But we decided to try again. We appealed the refusal, paid another set of monies to them. And a few weeks later, they came back to tell us our appeal was refused. So that was it. Australia was closed. The door was closed to our face. It was very sad. We decided to move on. And a friend of mine in Canada told me, Seyi, why don't you try this Canada study visa? I said, okay, I'm going to try it. I quickly rushed, learned all I needed to learn, put in my Canada study visa application, very confident that I would get approved. But guess what? About 2 months later, I got an email from RCC. I quickly rushed to go and check the email with excitement. But when I opened it, I had just been refused a Canada study visa. Another very devastating experience for me. I remember just sitting down on my bed and just thinking about my life, like, what kind of life is this? That I'm just getting refused from one place to the other. Time, my husband and I decided to start talking about relocation because we had lost so much money. You know, we had lost faith in the process. We had started bickering with each other because of all these refusals. But one day, my husband came back and said, let's try USA because he has all these friends in the US who have been encouraging us to come to the US. So a friend of his sent us an invitation letter, and we decided to go and try the US. I can remember one of us going to the US embassy, and of course, with high hopes as well. And then by the time the lady finished talking to us, we have good jobs, we have all the money that they needed, we had everything, but for some reason, the lady just gave us is it the pink or the yellow slip? We had been refused. I can remember us just walking to the car and going home. We did not say a word to each other because at this time, it looked as if there was no way. I mean, we had tried Australia, we had tried Canada. I had been in the UK before, you know, and I came back home because we didn't want to stay in the UK. And now it looked like everything was just, there was no way, you understand? So, and I know that there are people who are in this position. You think that, oh my goodness, there's nothing. I mean, I can remember crying. I couldn't sleep. I was thinking about what am I going to do? What am I going to do to myself that these people that keep going to Canada, because I kept hearing people going, my friends of friends, people don't have two heads. It means there's something that I don't know that these people know. I need to start asking questions. And that is when I started my search and my research. I paid immigration lawyers and immigration consultants in Canada sometimes $150 for like 30 minutes of conversation. I paid a lot of them. I listened to them. I connected with them. I heard what they had to say. And I continued to learn. My friends that had left, I learned from them. And I continued to write out what I was learning because I knew there was something that I didn't know. For several months of studying and learning and researching and making notes, I knew that I was ready. This time around, I went to my husband and I said, let's start again. He was like, you've come again with these plans. But you know, this is something that both of us wanted. So it didn't take a lot to convince him. He said, okay, let's go again. And this time around, I contacted supervisors, did everything that I needed to do. And when I eventually put in my Canada study visa application, I was confident in me that there's nothing this visa officer is looking for that I haven't provided in my application. And guess what? 2 to 3 months, I think it was, I applied in March and they came back to me in May and told me that my application had been approved. Eventually, after refusals from Australia twice, refusals from the USA, refusal from Canada, refusal from even the UK, even though I eventually got the UK visa, we now were approved to come to Canada. And that is how my Canada study visa was approved. So if you're talking of being refused or being scammed, I have been there, I have learned from it, and I have grown from it. So eventually I came to Canada. On the left there is my Canada study permits, which I got when I came to Canada. On the right is my letter of admission to Brock University where I studied. And if you see where I had circled with red, that is my funding. So I got funding of $27,000 per year to cover my studies. And then that's still some information about me at Brock University. On the far right is me as an international student ambassador. So I was the Nigerian international ambassador at Brock University, and those are other ambassadors on the far right. And on the left is my profile at Brock University. So if you go to Brock University and put in Seyi Obasi, you would actually see this profile there. And in the middle is my degree. So eventually, by God's grace, I was able to graduate. And that is my Master of Sustainability certificate that I graduated with. Okay. So immediately I came to Canada, funny enough, I knew other people that were struggling to come to Canada. Yeah. So I had friends who we had been trying to come to Canada together. I knew people who had been coming. Immediately I got here, I decided to offer my help. I mean, I knew that I knew something that others probably didn't know. I started to contact people, and I would spend time explaining the entire process to my friends over the phone, encouraging them. I was not pushing people to go ahead and apply. I was like, what are you waiting for? Apply. They'll say they don't know what to do, and I'll tell them what to do. And I started writing little reports for them to further explain what I had shown them, on the phone to guide them. And guess what? Guess what started happening? By the time I started explaining this to friends, family members, or friends of family, I started helping them. Guess what started to happen? This is what started to happen. People started to send testimonials. They have gotten admission, or my Canada visa application has been approved. People started to get funding. People started to get, admission. And their level of confidence started to improve because they were in on the information that I sent them. I was glad because I wanted everybody to experience the joy that I had experienced in coming to Canada. So I said to myself, imagine how many more people I could help. Do you understand? If I could put this into a step-by-step system that everybody anywhere can follow and be successful to get admission and visas to Canada. And I started doing that. I did that. And guess what? When I put this system into a step-by-step system, which is what I'm going to show you today, when I put it together, and started sharing with people, at first I was even doing it free of charge. I was sharing it with people free of charge. And those people started sharing with their family members, sharing with their friends. And then it became a guide, and they started buying and sharing. Guess what? We started getting testimonials like these. Now, this is Timothy, who landed in Canada December 2022. And this is him at the Canada airport. He was actually at Toronto. And he was saying that I would advise anyone that wants to come to Canada to talk to Seyi. She is the best at what she does. From Timothy, this is also Jackson. Now, Jackson relocated to Canada last year using this same system. And this is what he said. He said, I had already planned to pay an agent $3,000 to help me process my Canada visa before I came across Seyi, yeah? Before I came across her. And that was the game changer for me. So he didn't have to give an agent all that money. He actually spent only $25,000 for him to be able to relocate to Canada using this very same system that I want to share with you today. Now, would you like to know how all these people were able to do what they did? Would you like to know the secret sauce that they used to be able to do it? Yes, I know you want to learn. Like a lot of people are saying, yes, yes, yes. I want to know how they did it. I want to learn what the secret sauce is and all that. And I'm going to share that with you. Now, the thing is, you may be wondering that this sounds too good to be true. You may be wondering whether you can do this or whether you can't do it, or what I'm going to share with you. And that is a valid concern, because what you're really wanting to know and what you're asking is, will this time be different? Will you finally be able to get the solution that you've been looking for all this time? The truth is that I believe that you can. And as we go through the presentation, I'm going to show you how this unique system works. It works for all people from different backgrounds, different kinds of people, each and every one of them with their unique set of challenges. So look for that, and it should help you see that you, in fact, can also do this as well. Now, this system that I'm going to share with you doesn't necessarily work for everyone, okay? It works for only people who are go-getters, people who are ready to pursue their dreams, and people who have a strong why. Yeah? Are you that person? That is what I'm going to ask you. Are you that person? Ask yourself if you're a go-getter, if you're somebody who is willing to pursue their dreams no matter what. Remember the story I told you. Refusals upon refusals upon refusals. If I didn't have a strong why, I would have given up a long time ago. So before I give you the how, let's start with the why, because your why gives you the energy to pursue the how. The bigger the why, the more likely you are to succeed. So the question is, what is your why? What is your why? Do you want to do something on this earth that continues to live after you die, that even your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren will refer to you even when you are no longer here? Do you want to make a positive change that positively affects your generations to come? My own why, as silly as it sounds, was my children. My children was my why. I wanted to give these children a better life, and I didn't want them to continue to live in a society where they probably didn't have a solid future. So, and for whatever reason, I feel that it is my duty to help you with this. And that is why as soon as I came to Canada, I started helping people, as I'm telling you, from the first day that I landed here. So again, take a quick second look into your why. Do you want a better life for yourself and your family? And how would your life be different if you were to achieve your why today? So think about it. If you have your why now, let me know in the chat. Don't write what your why is. Keep it close to your heart. But say in the chat that I know my why. I have my why. I can see my why in my heart. Keep it close to your heart. And as we go through this webinar, a wise man once said, give me a big enough lever and I can move the world. Your why is your lever. And that your why is what is going to keep you going, even though everything seems negative. So if you have your why, say in the chat that I have my why, so that I can know that you have your why, and then we can move on. So on this webinar, I want to share with you something that changed my life and the life of a lot of other people. How you can come to Canada to study and get a prestigious Canada degree or diploma, and how you can become a Canada permanent resident after your studies. I'm also going to be providing you with a roadmap on how to achieve all of the above and show you one major mistake that you should avoid on this journey. Before we dive in, there's a question that I want to answer. Why am I suggesting that you use the study route to become a Canada permanent resident? It's because from statistics, it is the easiest route to Canada with the highest admission rates from undergraduate to PhD. If you come from an English-speaking country, you do not need to write the IELTS test, and there are absolutely no age restrictions. We've had 60-year-old people come here to study. We've had 55, we had 18, all sorts of ages. So long as you have a rationale to study, you are good to go. Your family can join you in Canada. So your spouse comes with the spousal open work permit, which means they can work anywhere in Canada full-time. It doesn't even have to be in the province where you are. Your children, depending on their ages, will come with study or visit visas. And as long as your child is from elementary to high school, they go to school for free if you're a student here. It's a sure route to permanent residency. You get Canada education, you get work experience, and from statistics, over 90% of those who come to study in Canada actually stay back to work and become permanent residents. And you can actually do this yourself without an agent. And the beautiful thing is that you can start right away. You don't have to have any agent pulling you around. And this is like the most passionate thing about this system. It is a system you can do it on your own. I was just sharing with people on the phone, sending them little reports, and they were able to complete this process successfully on their own. And it's something that you too can do, right? So you're asking, what is the process? Is there actually a roadmap that can help you to do this on your own? Absolutely, there is. And I'm going to be sharing it with you as well. So the study in Canada route is actually just a 5-step process. It is a simple 5-step process. And this is the 5-step process. And I'm going to be sharing with you details from each of these 5 steps, but this is just the simple 5 steps for you to become a Canada permanent resident using the study route. So number 1 is that you need to choose a school and a program. You need a school and a program to study anyway. And I advise you that you go for a designated learning institute, because a designated learning institute will probably provide you with a post-graduation work permit that will help you work and give you time to be able to apply for permanent residence after your study. So make sure it is a DLI that you are applying to. Some people choose not to apply to a DLI, and that is their choice, but I just want you to know that a designated learning institute is the way to go if you want to stay back in Canada and become a permanent resident. Now, while you're choosing a school and a program, you have to look at the admission requirements. Do you meet the admission requirements? Does your background qualify? Because this can be confusing if you don't know how to choose a school and a program. But I'm going to show you later how to get access to tools that can help you with school and program search, okay? That is the first step. So now that you've selected a school, you've selected a program, you've met the admission requirement, it is time to apply. So let's talk about step 2, which is applying. So step 2, you apply to the school. Now, when you're applying to a school, be sure to check their study gap requirements, because there are some schools that would say they don't take people who have studied 5 years ago, but there are many schools who do not care about your study gap, okay? Then you need to check that there's study progression, yeah? The visa officer is very concerned to know that you're actually coming to Canada to study. So if you have a master's degree and you're coming to Canada to do a diploma, you better have a very good explanation for why you're doing that. It is always good to show a study progression. Yeah, and then as per IELTS requirements, like I said earlier, if you're from an English-speaking country, most of the schools in Canada would waive the IELTS for you. But it is not all the schools. You need to check the school program website. The school website, you go to the international page and check for the countries that they classify as English-speaking countries. Nigeria, Ghana, these are English-speaking countries that I can think of on top of my head, but there are so many other African countries and countries as well that are classified as English-speaking countries and for which the IELTS is waived. There are a few schools that will require IELTS, whether you're from an English-speaking country or not, but those are only very few schools. So you complete your application online. Most applications in Canada are done online. You don't need to post any documents. You provide all the required documents. Usually they will ask for your transcripts, your international passport, your degree, WIAC, and scratch card, okay? Then you pay your application fee. Now, 98% of the schools in Canada, you need to pay an application fee, except they are doing a promotion and giving out promotion codes, okay? Most of them you need to pay to apply. And it's usually $75 and above. So I think the lowest I've seen is $75. I've actually seen $150. So there are some universities that are $150. You pay the application fee, you submit your documents, and then the school will process your documents. And that is when we move to step 3. You have completed your application and the school has gotten back to you with your letter of admission. Hooray, congrats. You have your letter of admission. You now need to move to the next step, which is to apply for a study visa. So applying for a study visa could be problematic without proper guidance. You need good guidance in this step. You need a good study plan, also called an SOP, some people call it an LOE. You need a good one. You need to gather all your documents, your financial documents, your passport, international passport, your work, business documents, all the documents that you need to show that you have ties in your country. You have the financial basis to go to school. If you got scholarship or loans, you get all that documents, put it in your application. The applications are online, yeah, so there is no, you don't need to walk into any VFS to submit documents. All applications for study visas are online, and then you need to apply on time. Canada study visa processing, all visa processing for Canada take time, yeah? So I would advise you apply like 3 to 4 months before you need to come to Canada to study, so you're not, caught up in the delay problems, okay? And then after you've done that and your study visa is approved, hooray, based on the processing times, like I said before, then you can come to Canada to study. When you get to the point of entry, which is airport for most of us, you get your study permit. And on your study permit, there will be an indication of the number of hours that you can work. Usually it is 20 hours part-time. For students can work 20 hours part-time. There is a temporary full-time 40 hours for students, but that's limited. It's going to be ending, I think it's by December of 2023, and there are requirements for that, but you get to work 20 hours part-time as a student. You go ahead to get your SIN. Your SIN is your number. It's like your social security number that you need to work. You get a bank account, you get accommodation, and then you start studying. Try and come to Canada 2 to 6 weeks before you are due to study, because you cannot work without studying. So for you to get a job and start working, you need to have started studying first. Now, after you've completed your study, that is when you now apply for a post-graduation work permit, but you need to have studied at a DLI. That's why I talked about a DLI when we started. If you have studied at a designated learning institute, you can apply for a post-graduation work permit. Usually, it depends on the length of your studies. So if you study for 1 year, which is like 8 months, 2 semesters or 2 terms, you get a post-graduation work permit usually for 1 year. If you've studied for 18 months and above, you get a post-graduation work permit of 3 years. Now, in that period, you're able to qualify for and apply for permanent residence. So you can use the Federal Skilled Worker Program, Canadian Experience Class, you can use a PMP for the province where you're in, or any other programs that are in your province. So going from student to permanent residence is not an automatic process. It's not like they snap a finger and you're there. You have to actually qualify and apply for it, okay? And after you've been a permanent resident for about 3 years, you can apply for Canadian citizenship and you become a Canadian citizen. So this is the simple roadmap, 5-step roadmap to going from studying in Canada to becoming a permanent resident. Amazing, amazing. So on this webinar so far, the brief one we spent together, I have given you the exact formula, exact study in Canada formula that I've spent years perfecting. You now immediately possess it, and you possess all the power that it holds. You now know how to apply to schools in Canada, what to do after applying. You know certain tricks to practically help you to be successful in this journey. And giving you, I hope, the confidence to transition from what you have been doing before to what you can start doing now and doing successfully. Yeah, and I've given you some simple strategies that can have a profound effect or impact on your results. And I've done all this and much more in the limited time that we've had to interact with each other today. Now, knowing what you know now, I want you to give me your answer in the chat. Do you feel more confident about this study in Canada round? Yeah, just go ahead and put your answers in the chat. Are you happy that you came to this webinar today? Do you feel that you're getting value for your time? And do you realize how much advantage you have over those who are not here today? Put your answers in the chat. Can you see yourself using what I've showed you today to help you on your Canada journey? Because even if you use a tiny fraction of what I've showed you now, would you say that our time so far has been well spent? And would you like to know more and learn more valuable strategies on how you can finally be able to crack this relocation to Canada thing? Yeah. Amazing, amazing. So I've gotten a lot of yeses. I'm so happy. Thank you, guys. This means that you didn't waste your time, and I am not wasting my time as well. Now, here's what I know about you. You want to come to Canada as soon as possible, as soon as reasonably possible. You don't want to waste time. You don't want to make any mistakes, and you want guidance from someone who can help you succeed. This is what I feel is your profile because you're here listening to me today. Now, the truth is, we had 4 hours together instead of just the maybe 30 minutes or so that we spent so far. It's going to be hard, almost impossible to give you the full extent and benefit of all that I could give you. Because no matter how good anyone is, 1 or 2 webinars isn't really going to be enough to give you the full guidance that you need. You need more than that. Yeah. So what I'm giving you today is incredibly valuable, as you have told me in the chat. But truly, it is just a tip of the iceberg. So you see, before doing this webinar today, I was faced with 1 of 2 choices. Yeah, I had 2 choices. So the first choice I had was that I could share what I've shared so far, part ways with you, and then hope that on your own you can make a go of it and maybe be successful in getting yourself to Canada as your heart desires. Because I have absolute confidence that you can take what we have shared so far, go on your own and put it into action, and you will get results that you haven't gotten before. I know that you must have learned 1 or 2 things about studying in Canada that you did not know before. Yeah, so you can go at it by yourself, and a lot of people do that. But if that was your only option, then that would have been like an ideal choice for you to take. However, there is a second choice. And the second choice is that I could take a more active role and responsibility for your success, to create a situation where our relationship could evolve from just that one and done type of deal that we're having today to an ongoing, growing, and mutually rewarding relationship. Yeah, one where I will do everything I could to make your success certain, and you will do everything that you can to make sure that you are successful as well. That is the second choice. So I chose the second choice because I feel that the second choice will have more value for you. Yeah. And if you have liked what I have shared so far, trust me, you're going to absolutely love what I'm going to share with you next. So it is with great pleasure, based on the comments you've given me, that you have actually gained value from what I've shared with you so far. With great pleasure, I introduce to you the Niger to Canada JAPA system. So it's no longer Niger, it's the whatever country you are from to Canada JAPA system. And the most beautiful thing is that it's a no-hassle system. It's a simple step-by-step guide that will show you how to become a Canada permanent resident by studying in Canada. And it's easier than you've ever thought was possible. Yeah? Yeah, so it's a simplified step-by-step guide, a comprehensive, detailed, simplified step-by-step video and PDF training guide that covers all the 5 steps that we talked about today. Yeah, and these are practical steps that anyone, anywhere can follow. Now, on the right of the screen, you can see a testimonial from someone who said, "God bless you for your tutorship and guidance. I look forward to seeing the process through to the end with your valued support." That person eventually got admission and got their visa approved to come to Canada. Yeah, and they are lauding the simplicity of the Canada JAPA system. The Canada JAPA system also has simple, easy to use school search. Yeah, so you will easily find the schools and the programs to apply to without tearing your hair to pieces. So we have tools and guidance that can help you to choose the right program, the right level of program, as well as the right program for you. Also, we show you scholarship and funding opportunities, because I know that money is important, and how to search for scholarships and funding, how to get access to long-term international affordable study loans. Now, if you look to the right of the screen, you would see a testimonial from someone who is actually thanking us for introducing She and her brother to the Canada Japan system. She says, I got admitted into college for next spring, and I also got scholarship with my brother. And that the letter is there, the scholarship letter is right there. You can also look at it. This person got scholarship using the guide that we provide in the Canada Japan system. Then study visa processing guide. Visa processing is so critical because that is what is going to get you into Canada anyway. And we have a sample of one of our students that got their visas approved. We show you the documents that you need to submit that will get you approved, so long as you follow the guidance that we give. We give you guidance on how to submit the best application and show you how the family can join you in Canada or can apply with you at once. We have valuable templates. So sometimes you need to contact supervisors with emails. You need to write your statement of purpose, letter of intent. You need to write letters to the school. We have all those templates. So it saves you from creating these documents from scratch, from your head. You have something that you can model after. And the benefit is that you are modeling after documents that have been successful. So these are documents that people have actually used to get into schools in Canada, to get admission, to get funding, and to get visa. And you have those letters that you can model after, okay? Now, I do not need to tell you that the Canada JAPA system works. Now, there are testimonials upon testimonials. We get testimonials almost every day. So this system absolutely works. Even from people who are applying for the second, third, or even fourth time after they've been refused before. It works for them. So I know beyond a shadow of doubt that it works. The thing is that how much would you price something like that? Like if you had a system like that works, how much would you price it? And if I was to price it at what it is truly worth, I wouldn't have any issues asking you to invest 200,000 naira to get the Canada Japan system right here and right now, because it is actually worth that and even more. Many people actually pay quack agents triple that amount, quadruple that amount, 6 times that amount, and get absolutely zero results. Or some of them even get banned for using some of these agents that would use documents that would get them into trouble. So at 200,000 naira or higher, you will still be getting a great deal, an absolute steal from the Canada Japan system. Because for me, it's not just about the money, it's about impact, yeah? Because I've been there, so I know the feeling. I've been there, so it's about making an impact. But I've decided to reward those who act boldly and who act immediately, because those are the kinds of people I love to work with. So if you sign up within the next 48 hours, instead of that 200,000 naira, which is a great deal, by the way, you will still be able to get full access to everything that makes up this wonderful program called the Canada Japan system for drum roll, for just 40,000 naira, which is, my goodness, it is a steal. 40,000 naira is something you probably spend for one night in a good hotel or to buy a good handbag. So you're getting all of that for just 40,000. But then this is when we get to the very good part. In addition to all the things you get to the Canada Japan system, you get some amazing limited time special bonuses. Now, these are bonuses that might be going away anytime soon, but will only be available to those who are able to sign up after this webinar, okay? So people get stressed out about getting accommodation in a new country. People ask me all the time, how will I know where to stay? So we solve that problem for you. We show you how to get your first job in Canada, where to look, what jobs to look for. We also show you how to get accommodation, what to do. How do you move from maybe from the airport to somewhere? How do you get accommodation? We show you all that. That's bonus number 1. Bonus number 2, we give you a checklist of the things that you need, absolute important things that you need to start studying in Canada. So no more wondering what you need to get started. We've solved that problem for you as well. So everything you need to study in Canada, a checklist that you can just mark off, we have that for you. Bonus number 3, which is this one, is just so sweet. We have a database of schools and programs, yeah, So database, so everyone knows all those popular schools, but we're trying to come up with a database that have the not so popular schools, but they are great schools as well for international students. Yeah, so we have that list, so you can easily check through those schools to see if the program that you want is there, and then you can go to the school website rather than just going to Google and being frantic searching all over the place. That is your bonus number 3. Bonus number 4. Now, this is a new feature that is coming soon. So we have an artificial intelligence sort of software where you can ask questions. So her name is Jenny. She will ask you some questions in terms of what do you have, and then you answer some questions, and she will eventually tell you what level of study that you can go for. So if you have a 2-2, you have a third class, you have a PGD, and you're wondering, I have a diploma, I have an NC, what can I study? Jenny is going to help you with that, and this is a feature that is coming soon. So that's bonus number 4, right? So let's move to bonus number 5. We do free reviews of your CVs, your SOPs, your emails, your letter of intent. Nobody is doing this. We provide free basic reviews of all these documents for you. What we do is that we're going to be highlighting the appropriate corrections for you to make. So no more cracking your head, just write it, send it to us. We show you where you need to make adjustments, yeah? And this is a bonus for those who can get the Canada JAPA system after this webinar. Now we're also coming up with a payment portal for international students. A lot of people are wondering, how do I make payment for my admission fee? Or how do I pay for my deposit? Or, how do I study loans and all that? So we are going to be having, it's a feature that's coming very soon, within the next few weeks, a payment portal for international students. So payments made easy. So you can instantly pay school fees, visa fees, education fees. It's fast and responsive. If you use the portal, or if you use the one that is on our website, you have special fast and responsive service. They are giving special services for those who are coming through the Canada JAPA system. It's bonus number 6, right? Imagine all the bonuses you're getting plus the Canada JAPA system for ordinary 40,000. Yeah. And then we provide professional services. That's bonus 7. So we're giving you world-class system. We answer your questions in good time. And if you're one of those who has no time or absolutely wants someone to do the process for you, we have professional paid agency services to process your admission and your visa application. It's very competitive because we have a lot of people. So we usually take first come, first served for these services. That's bonus number 7, right? And we're not done. Like, these are all the bonuses that you have so far. So far, you have 7 bonuses. And then we have one more bonus. You have access to me and my team. So you can reach out to our support team by email when you have issues, you need clarification. We have a dedicated and experienced support staff, including myself, that will guide you and answer your questions. It doesn't matter if you send us 1 million emails, we're going to respond to you and give you clarification. And if it becomes absolutely necessary, you can schedule a personal 15-minute consultation with me for free. A 15-minute consultation usually will cost 10,000 naira. Ask those who don't have the JAPA system, they actually pay 10,000 naira to speak to me for 15 minutes, but you are going to get it for free when you have the Canada JAPA system. So what I want you to do is that I want you to make a fully informed decision. Yeah. This product has actually helped many people, to achieve their Canada relocation dreams in less than 1 year. So unless you are committed and serious about your success and taking action, please do not sign up. Please do not sign up except you are committed, you're serious, you have a strong why, and you want to move forward. Now, due to the extremely high value of this product, we have a strict no refund policy. Yeah, so please make an informed decision and only make a purchase if you agree with this. Now, I only work with people who are in a success state of mind, like I said before, and those who know what they want. So if that's you, then go ahead and sign up. And then I also wanted to announce that there's going to be a price increase. I mean, if you're here today, you are absolutely lucky because you can get in before the price increases. Yeah, the value of this product is amazing. At whatever price we increase it to, the value still hasn't met the price, not even a quarter of the way. Yeah, so there's going to be a price increase coming up March 1st, 2023. The JAPA system 3.0 is going to 40,000 naira only, with effect to March 1st. So you can still get it today, you can still get it tomorrow, you can still get it within this month at at 40,000, and that is the only time you can get all those bonuses as well. So this is how to purchase. To purchase, kindly ask for a purchase link from the affiliate that invited you to this webinar. So the Nigeria to Canada Data System is an affiliate product, which means that it is on affiliate platforms, and there are many affiliates that do sell it. Okay, so if someone has invited you to this webinar, ask them for the purchase link. If you are in my webinar, if you are in my wait room, the link will be shared in the wait room if you're in my wait room. But if somebody actually sent you here, go ahead now, tell them that, you know what, I've watched the webinar up to a point and I am ready to make a purchase, and they are going to give you the link for you to actually make that purchase. Yeah. Now, my assistant has just messaged me that some people are already making their purchase right now, which is amazing to hear. And I am so grateful to all of you. But, you know, the thing is that as we finish the webinar today, you might find yourself sitting on the fence. So you're wondering, is this for me? There's some of you who are wondering, is this for me? So you're actually sitting on the fence. You haven't been able to make up your mind, and you're thinking whether this is for you. Now, I guess so, yeah. So usually when people are on the fence like that, it's usually for one of the following reasons. Now, the first thing that might be making you delay is money, the money you need to get the data system. Now, if you look on the right, that's someone who sent me a message that they actually spent 5.4 million on the procedure to get a Canada visa for themselves and their family. They sold everything, they were ready to relocate, they said goodbye, but they did not even get their passport back. It was a scam. Yeah. So just so we're clear here, if the price is your primary concern, be direct with one another, because a lot of times when people say that they cannot afford something, they are not being 100% truthful. You know why? You know why? Because what we have today, you can start with only 40,000. But let's say you had an opportunity to invest in a business that will give you, like, say, 2 million over the next 6 months. As we're here, you get a phone call that there's this business, so, and it's confirmed 2 million in the next 6 months. And the price for that investment was like 100,000. Would you say, I can't afford it? No, of course not. You will rush to look for the money. So let's get rid of the myth of whether you can afford or you cannot afford. The real question is, are you willing to do what it takes to make this investment or not? Because as you sit here today, you have some options. And one of the options is that you do nothing. But doing nothing doesn't just leave you with the problem. It makes the problem worse. So you and I know that the thing that you need to do is to just do it. If something is important to you, then you're going to find a way. Now, for those of you who haven't signed up, but yes, your problem is not money. Your problem actually is time. Now, there's a testimonial on the right. There's someone, you know, who got the Canada Japan system, and they were complaining about time because they were so busy, yeah? But I gave them some strategies of how to find time, and you can see their testimonial over there. They got their visa even though they thought they didn't have time, yeah? So here's what I know about you. The first thing I know is that you can make time for things that are worthwhile and important to you. Because you have been here right here at this webinar for 45 minutes. Yeah. So I know you have some time. The thing is that, do you have enough time? Well, time is the only thing that every one of us has the same amount of. So it's not about how much time you have, it's about what you do with the time you have that matters. So here's what I want you to do. If I can show you how to do this, how you can save time, would you sign up? Would you sign up then? Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to begin to make a list in your head of the 5 effective things that you do consistently during your day. Things like watching Netflix, browsing through social media, dancing to TikTok videos. I want you to take a big red marker in your mind and cross it out. And in place of those things, put work on my Canada Japan plan. The question mark for you that if you knew for certain that you can move forward with your Japa plans, would you not be willing to wake up 30 minutes before the time you usually wake up and go to bed 30 minutes later? So, I mean, it's just 30 minutes. If you can spend 30 minutes every day, you can do this. I was spending 2 hours. I was working in Lagos. You know how Lagos traffic is. I would get home. I walk between 10 p.m. to midnight, doing this research, getting this information, calling these people in Canada just to get the information. So if this is important to you, trust me, you're going to find the time. Okay. Now the next problem that some people have is ability. So some people feel that, oh, you know, if they feel that this is such a big process that they cannot do by themselves. Yeah. And, you know, I've gone ahead to put another testimonial on the right, you know, of someone who also thought they couldn't do it, but they eventually were able to do it. Think about the first day you went to university, wide-eyed, or you went to college or whatever. You thought, I mean, it seemed like such a big issue, or the first day you got your job, you thought you couldn't do it, but somehow you were able to do it because you got guidance, you were patient, you had a boss or a teacher who taught you, and you were able to do what you thought you couldn't do. Yeah, and that's what the Canada Japa system is. We know that you don't know, and everything that you need is actually put in the Canada Japa system for you. Now, this one is probably the biggest of all. Fear, whether you realize it or not. I mean, I can help with the other three, but I need you to help me. I need you to help me when it comes to fear. All these people that you see here, all these testimonials, are people who thought that it would not work out for them. People who were scared. People who were confused as well. Okay? Now, I know it is always scary to go out of your comfort zone. And the easiest thing you can do is what you've always done. So fear is a big thing. Yeah? I'm not asking you to set aside your fear. I know you're worried. What if I screw up? What if I make a mistake? What if it doesn't work? Yeah, what I'm asking you is that you make your why bigger than your fear. Yeah, you know that's what I talked about in the beginning. Make it bigger than your fear. And I want you to declare to me right now that fear is not going to keep you motionless. Fear is not going to stop you from relocating to Canada this year. Declare it to me, declare it to the world, declare it in the chat box right now, because you know what? Whatever you declare comes to pass. Ask it to yourself, because as you're writing it down, as you're thinking about it, as you're declaring it, you are actually telling it that out there to the world, telling it out there to the elements to say, I will not let fear hold me back. So let's go ahead and put it in the chat. I will not let fear hold me. I know how fear can be. I was scared too when I started this process. So put it in the chat that fear will not hold me back. Okay? Now that we've covered money, we've covered time, we've covered ability, we've covered fear, and we've told you that anyone who is serious about relocating to Canada can make a success of it. Yeah, I'm going to be answering some frequently asked questions that I usually get from people who are considering relocating to Canada through the study route. Now, some people ask, what if I have a tutu? What if I have a third class? Is NC that I did, or I have WAEC? The truth is that no matter your level of education or grade, there's something for you. Yeah? You can study if you have a rationale to study, from high school diploma all the way to PhD. There's something for you. And then one big question, how much does it cost? People are always asking. The truth is that nobody can tell you how much it's actually going to cost you, because cost will differ from person to person. So I have put a range of the cost here. So this is just a range. So I can't tell you it's 30,000 or this amount, but I can tell you that school applications cost between $75 to $150. Tuition, if you're coming with funding, your funding or scholarship might cover some part of your tuition. But tuition, the lowest I've seen, I think, is actually around 10,000 to probably around 40,000 per year. Living expenses for yourself as a student is $10,000 Canadian per year. I think it's a little bit higher for Quebec, but it's on average is 10,000. Living expenses for anybody that is accompanying you, you need 4,000 for the first person that is accompanying you, and you need $3,000 Canadian for any additional persons. These are Canadian dollars, by the way, using the bank rates, not black market rates. Visa processing fees is $235 Canadian if you haven't done biometrics. If you've done biometrics, it's just $150. Medical, I think it's approximately 50,000 naira. I'm not sure what it is right now. Airfare, I don't know, maybe 400,000. I really don't know. That's why there's a question mark there. And miscellaneous is about 100,000. So this is a bit of the range, yeah, of what you need to study in Canada. So it's absolutely not free, yeah, but you can actually get scholarship funding and you can get a loan to offset some of these costs for you. Don't forget that there's a price increase coming up March 1st, 2023, and if you can get in before then, you're getting absolutely the same value as someone who's going to pay 50,000. So I see no reason why you are not clicking the button or reaching out to whoever invited you or going to grab the link. If you're in my wait room, the link to purchase is already there. You should be making your purchase right now. So let me tell you right now that to try to process Canada study visa without proper guidance, without proper knowledge and mentorship is infinitely harder. You would have a tough time trying to do that. So this is a simple step-by-step guide to become a Canada permanent resident. Is the Canada JAPA system. It's easier than you ever thought possible. And these are some of the bonuses that you get. You get 8 amazing, freaking exciting bonuses in addition to the Canada JAPA system, yeah? And it's just 40,000 until March 1st, 2023. If you want to grab a goal, you cannot climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pocket. You actually need to get to work. And a year from now, you would wish that you had started today. Or reach out to me and say, oh my God, I wish I started earlier. I too had the same problem. I wish I started earlier, yeah? So a year from now, you wish you had started today. So why don't you even start today? Don't forget your why. Some of you have been struggling with traveling out, and despite your best attempts to solve it on your own, you have been failing, like me. You know, we were doing everything, and we were doing everything, and we're failing. Willpower usually doesn't take you very far. Yeah? And then if you don't lack knowledge, it won't take you very far. So if you're serious about making a move this year, you want your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren to remember that it was you that moved the family to Canada. If you're serious about moving this year, you have a great chance of success where everything down to the last detail has been designed to help you succeed. You should be messaging whoever sent you here. You should be messaging them to send you the link to purchase. Don't forget your why. That's why to keep you going. See this little child praying for his grandparents because they came to Canada. And once you're a citizen, every child born to you or to your children, whether they like it or not, they will be Canadian citizens. Don't you want to do that? So don't miss out on this opportunity. This Canada JAPA system will save you from feeling hopeless, wasting time, wasting money, trying to relocate to Canada on your own. I mean, it will help you. So go ahead, click the link from your affiliate. This is an affiliate product. Like I said before, I need to stress that. So you'll be getting the link from them. Once you make the purchase, you will have all my contact details inside the Canada JAPA system. Then you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me directly, and then we can start talking and thinking about how to get you to Canada as soon as possible. So thank you very much for taking the time. I know I took about almost an hour, but I hope it was very valuable. All the best, and I would answer your questions now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then we're going to start talking.